evening, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday night Top Crop TV. Tonight, we're going to have a really good episode for you guys. The keyword of the night is drought. That'll be the keyword of the night. But we're going to take an interesting look tonight at some of the things that's going on. It'll be an interesting night. We've got going to be bouncing back and forth between Corey and Mr. Russell Hedrick. And then we're going to swing by Man Farms. And we're going to look at some drain tile being installed and some explanations of the drain tiles. So while you're here with us, join us tonight. Let's go out. Let's kind of look and see what we got here. And let's just kind of, Corey Atley brings up some really good points, and so does Russell in this episode. Watch it. You guys have a great night. Let's get on to our wonderful footage tonight, and let's get started. Well, if I hit the start button, we will.
It's time for a new season of Top Crop. The health of our soil is going to contribute to us making money.
I call it turning trash into cash.
I'm still looking for big wins.
I think it looks good.
Welcome back, season 2 of Top Crop. September 19th, we're here rolling the corn in Cedarville, Ohio, fighting Mother Nature once again, but this time with the dryness of a drought. We need some rain. We could use some rain. We're hurting, but we're going to make it work and we're going to fight through it. So welcome back. We are in Coloss Lake Sion 8700. 18-row Gearenhoff roto disc head. There's a lot we're still learning about tar spot, okay? Yeah. But boy, did we learn a lot this year. I don't know how much I'm ready to talk about it yet, but I will say this. What we're learning is it is in our soil or in our plants a lot earlier than we ever imagined. We actually did some V5 applications and didn't do V5 applications, and where we did not do the V5 applications of nutritionals and fungicide, it got completely riddled with tar spot, which that was the least of my worries on that. I never dreamed it would matter that early, and so we're seeing a bunch of that this year. Shocked the crap out of me. And then being this dry, I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm not the only one that's seen it though either. Still a lot to be learned about tar spot, and we're all learning on the go. But that's one big thing that we learned this year, and would love to have somebody chime in and fill us in on why that's happening. With a PhD. Copper is the organic fungicide. Yep, so you can tell a lot by a plant, especially when you do a tissue test on its copper number, how healthy it is. Copper is more of a natural fungicide. The field we're in right now is 90 acres. 5 semis we got rolling right now. Molly bee is a big play. Up here, we have abundance of it. It's not that big of a play. Gotcha. So it's all pretty much relative to where you're at, what your soils have. Out here we have tons of chloride. Out west they have 0 chloride in their soils because they don't ever use potash. Potash is potassium chloride. So you go out to Kansas and out west, they're blessed with 8% K saturated soils. They don't use potash. So it's all relative to your area and where you're at. We all have different micronutrients that we all fight with and got to pay attention to if we're going to maximize our yields. So you just got to kind of know, what's in your area that you should be concerned or looking for, not just what you hear on TV or from what somebody else says, because we will all fight a different micronutrient or a trace element in different locations. Well, because you might be more abundant in one.
Right.
Take a big one here, for example.
Well, that would only change like how much you use, not the ratio.
Well, how much you have. But like magnesium, okay?
Yeah.
So here in Ohio, we have a hard time with magnesium because we have such tight clay soils. So somebody that might live, you know, in Tennessee or somewhere might go, holy crap, that's a terrible magnesium number. And we're like, heck no, that's a great magnesium number, because it's just the type of soil and the makeup that we have. So, you know, there's not a blueprint that you can just hand somebody that's going to fit them all the way across the United States. It'd be nice if there was, but there's not. We're all going to have different challenges and different goals everywhere you farm. And just try something outside the box. I've used apple vinegar, apple cider vinegar. I've used Tylenol, aspirin. You name it, you know. No, I'm being serious on crops. I mean, we've tried it. Just trying stupid stuff, just to see if anything sticks or makes a difference. I mean, for me, it cracks me up as farmers how much we worry about nutrition and what goes into our plants. And then we look at our bodies and we're like, ah. Quit taking my Flintstones about 40 years ago. Right now, we're just looking for some of that high quality H2O. Oh no, I'm talking about rain.
Oh, right, from the sky.
Yeah, from the sky.
100%. So who's your football team, Corey?
Cleveland Browns and Ohio State Buckeyes. Buckeyes are a powerhouse this year. They've got a real chance to win it all this year. I mean, 20 million in NIL money, we better be good. The old man. And Dad can't start a field until I adjust his computer, so. Hold advantage there. Another thing that we're doing, the sugars, octane. We gotta have that sugar. We gotta have the kelpine for the stress mitigation. And then the big one, something we found out just 2 years ago, we've been toying with and we found it consistent. Onward Max, 6.5 ounces. And let me tell you, the trials that we ran with that, there's a reason why it's going on every single acre of our corn.
Making some applications to some cotton, so we've got a product from Fish Head, fish manure. We use a lot of manures around the farm for fertility, and I know the fish manure has a lot of added benefits. We're gonna put it in one of our mixes. It's an organic soil conditioner, and we're gonna use it at foliar at 20 ounces to the acre. We're gonna do it twice. We're looking forward to just more food for the biology, get it irrigated in. We're looking forward to some good results.
You've got 2 deck plates that are set up like this, and when the residue manager pulls the stalk down, this ear is going to come down and hit this deck plate, and it pops it off. And then the gathering chain's bringing in the header. The problem is when they're this small, it'll start bringing it down, and instead of hitting that deck plate, it'll go in between them. And it just lets it go down. It lets the corn ear get pulled down to the ground. And if you really want to know how dry it was, this is a big old oak tree here at the corner of the field. Look how much water it pulled in a circle and how much it hurt that corn within the circle of that tree. And then once you get outside the root zone of that tree, corn did fine again. That's how dry we were in the beginning of the season. Not even a tree pulled it down that bad. Well, it's kind of like me and Lee were talking about cover crops and regenerative farming, soil health, whatever you want to call it. Us having cover crops and the ground covered and increased organic matter, for every 1% we increase organic matter, we can hold 27,000 gallons more water per acre. That's an acre inch roughly. So that means if this corn's using 1/4 inch a day, that gives me 4 more days that I can go through a drought stress or a heat stress before my neighbors are showing the same signs as me. So I can get 4 more days longer than they can. So this farm, we've increased organic matter on this farm by about 3%. So that gives me roughly 2 more weeks that I can go out, go without rainfall before I'm showing the same stress as a field right beside of me. Well, that's great, but if it doesn't rain for 60 days, you're still going to have stress loss. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, you know, for what we've seen our neighbors have, our neighbors are having this or less. You know, we've still got a lot of ears that are like this and like this. And so instead of picking 10, 20, 30 bushel corn, or some fields around here having no bushels, you know, we're still able to go out here and get 100, 125, you know. This right here is 175, 180. And so when you average this out across the whole field, if this field makes a 140 average, we're still making money. We watched our inputs. We cut, you know, when we went through the drought, we started cutting back on some of our top dress nitrogen. We didn't put as many foliar passes on this year. And so we just don't have as much money up front in the crop. Now, if you got a farmer, that's what I'm really trying to get farmers to understand. If you go out in February, March, or April, and you're putting out all of your fertility, all of your nitrogen, and everything, and you're just super loading that ground up, because that is the easiest way to farm, is just put it all out there at one time. Well, if you go through a drought stress event, well, you're going to get less yield because of that drought. And two, a lot of farmers don't understand, you hurt a corn plant with too much nitrogen during stressful times. That corn plant, if it can access that nitrogen, it's going to want to grow. And so you're forcing that plant to grow in the worst conditions possible because you've loaded up too much nitrogen on that field. And a lot of farmers don't understand that. And that's why we went to split applying, and now we're doing the fertilizer bar, we're doing a wide drop pass, and then we're coming over the top with the drone. And instead of having all that nitrogen loaded up front, we're putting that nitrogen on right when we're seeing rainfall events, and that plant can utilize that nitrogen, and it has moisture, and that's why we have healthier plants and we have better yield. And it's not the easiest thing to do, but in the grand scheme of things, we're paying to do it ourselves. Our cost is probably about $10 an acre. If you were to pay somebody to do that custom work, you're probably looking at $20, $25 an acre. Well, you're only talking about 5 bushels of yield difference. Well, right there, that ear and that ear, you're making way more than $25 an acre, split applying that nitrogen and split applying those nutrients and making those foliar passes. And so I think as farmers can start looking at making different application times and putting nutrients out there when the plant can use them and use them good, instead of forcing it and stressing that plant even more, that's when they start seeing whole farm averages kick up.
In the past 3 years, we're 365 GDUs behind schedule. So that is one of our concerns here. You know, if we don't have solar, we don't have GDUs, we don't have photosynthesis, we don't have energy into that plant. So that's where, when you guys approached about Architect and being able to add that on at that V5 time frame, I was really excited for it. Definitely looks like it's doing its job here. I'm excited to take it to yield and see if we can't get it on every acre next year.
So this is Organics with deep injection. This is Organics with dry over the top. And it should be 18 rows to the next flag. And this is our Organics with dry fertilizer broadcast. The plant health is definitely better. We're seeing the first lower leaf is starting to stress a little bit. Here we might have been 1 or 2 leaves below the ear leaf that's already started to drop off and brown up. So I mean, the crop stress is a lot less where we had the Organics.
Hey everybody, welcome to Top Crop TV. Shelby Fight here, and we are tiling today at Man Farms. It is a beautiful day, September 4th, 70 degrees out, and we are getting one of the home farms tiled that has needed it for quite some time. So we're still a little bit new at this, but you know, every job we do, we're getting better. So installing our own drain tile was something we researched for years. We wanted the capability to do it ourselves rather than hire that out. It would cost us more money. We weren't necessarily in control of everything that was happening. So we invested quite a bit of money to have the equipment so that we can install the tile ourselves. And because of that, now we have the capability to go to our current and future landowners and say, hey, is this something you'd like added to your land? We know the investment is worth it. We know that the yields will get better, the soil will get better. So that is really exciting for us as a farming operation to be able to do that. Someone said a long time ago, it's the best money over berry. and that is absolutely true. This is a phenomenal way to get a really nice yield increase right off the bat. That tile's working as soon as it goes in the ground, and you know, that's what we're about here on Top Crop TV, showing you what is going to provide the best ROI, and installing drain tile does that. This is a big investment for the operation, and you know, we're doing this project, and I hope it's going to last through my lifetime and hopefully my kids' lifetime as well. So this is a big job and a big undertaking, but you do it once, and you want to do it with the best equipment you could possibly have when you're completing the job.
Over time, the farmer or installation contractor was coming to a conclusion that installing 1-foot sections of tile in comparison to installing 3,400-foot rolls of tubing would be a lot more economical and a quicker installation. Some of the quality of the old clay tiles are still running well, where some of them are broken down over time. The benefits of the plastic seems to outweigh the old clay tile in most areas at the current time. There's a couple different hole patterns. The one currently in the field that we're in right now is a staggered slot, which is like a normal clay type soil slot. We also do make an 8-slot tile for a very heavy clay soil. What they call Paulding County or Northwest Ohio clay soils is 8-slot. Then we do also make a 1/16 slot, which is a 1/16-inch slot, which is a combination of a kind of a sandy soil to like a clay soil combination. And then we do make a knife cut tile. Knife cut is for heavy sand, where there's sand pretty much in the entire field itself.
Putting a lot of tile in the ground today. We did our 8-inch mains yesterday, and today we moved on to do our 4-inch laterals. It was very nice to have a map and, you know, have something to go off of, because we want to make sure the plan's laid out correctly, you know, depth is correct, and spacing and all that. So we got real organized this winter when I sent, you know, all the files over, and then, you know, he sent the shape file back, and we had everything we need to stick on the flash drive, put in the plow, and now we're out here doing it.
Choose your herbicide. Choose your pest protection. Choose AgVenture. The latest trait technologies featuring the power of the Enlist weed control system, plus the quality and service you know and trust. Produce more bushels with 4-Seed Enlist and PowerCore Enlist corn from AgVenture. Visit agventure.com/corn traits to get a whole farm solution with the latest corn traits.
We want the bottom canopy to be healthy with a good fungicide. We use Revitec on it. It's really going to help that bean finish off strong.
Beans are coming right along. We've used Revitec and Reviloc for our soybean fungicide, and we've used Revitec for years. Probably absent of disease just because we've got the Revitec out here, but just mainly for the plant health.
We think we got a pretty good chance here to throw up a pretty big number. It'll be interesting to see. Well, we're off of Rakestraw Road here in Cedarville, Ohio. We're farming 107-day corn. Extremely dry. We was here a little bit earlier. Way too inconsistent, so we waited about 10 days, came back, and now it's about 15% moisture. So damned if you do, damned if you don't, but I guess that's free drying. That's what everybody tells me. It's the way I'm going to look at it. Blah, blah, blah. We run from 105-day all the way up to 120-day varieties. And the reason why we do that is our optimal, you know, moisture that we want to harvest corn at is 23%. That's where we feel like the highest yields at. And that, yeah, you can just throw that playbook on out the window. Everything went from 40% to 15% like that. But we haven't had a measurable rain, and I can't tell you how long. It's actually just got released today or yesterday. Let's see if I can find a picture of it. So right there's the drought monitor for Ohio. That's our county. That's where we farm. These guys here in the dark red are running about 20 to 30 bushel soybeans and 80 to 140 bushel corn. So say a prayer for them because it is rough. So as you can see here, we are in an extreme drought. Extreme drought. So I don't know what to tell you. Can't control Mother Nature. That's the cards we were dealt. My opinion, we're very fortunate to have what we have. It could have been a lot worse. I'm amazed by how well both corn and soybeans are doing with this lack of rain and the heat. Man, it's been hot. Man, we've been flirting with 90s pretty much the entire month of September. And it's putting a hurting on us. You know, we're afraid for field fires, combine fires, different things like that. It's just not good. Hopefully we get some rain. I mean, we've even had we've had 2 different hurricanes that came up through, and our air mass is so dry it just broke it apart and we didn't get any moisture from it. So part of it, we can't control it. Right now we'd just like to get some moisture, just settle the dust, just to help with field fires, combine fires, and tillage. We're that dry. Yeah, we're about a little over 600 acres of corn done, 550 acres of soybeans done. So, I mean, we're just now getting our lips wet here. So, we're full bore now, but we got a long way to go. Just hope everything stays together and keeps plugging along. I'd say this year, as of now, we're about 25% down on yield compared to our previous 3 years. That's not saying that there's not some good spots, and that's not saying that there's not worse spots. This is a year of extremes. You get in the black ground, I've seen 350 to 400 bushel corn. You get on a clay knob, and I've seen 100 bushel corn. So, you know, we're all fighting fat averages right now. But the one thing that I will say is, you know, big lifesaver this year has been the Kelpine product from Advanced Yield. I'm not one to toot my own horn, trust me, but when I hate when that product has to shine, because when that product shines, you're not going to like it, because that means we're fighting extremes. And once again this year, though, it did its job, kept the crop alive for as long as it did, and big yield swing where it is and where it's not. So very happy with that product. Great insurance. Another thing that amazes me is, you know, 2012 was another really dry year, and then we look 12 years later, 2024, and it just amazes me how well all the hybrids across the board, I don't care what company you go with, just the drought stress and the heat tolerance, where we have gone with technology, so much better. You know, it takes 5 years for them, once they come up with a hybrid, to start it, see it through. So you got to think 2017, 18 is when the game started changing, and here we are in 2024, and it's a lot better than it was in 2012. I can tell you that. You can at least still hear the corn going through the combine. It was dead silent. It sounded like raindrops hitting the rooftop. All you heard was the fodder going through. You hear that munching sound? Yeah, there's none of that. It's more of a full package approach. Yes, the Kelpine helps, but you know, if you're hungry and you don't have anything to eat, what are you going to look for? Something to drink. You guys ever drink too much water and then you get a bellyache, or you know, then you sit down at the dinner table and you know you're not hungry anymore because you just drank too much? Well, you know, plants, corn, same way. So if it cannot find, you know, food to eat, it's going to look for water. Well, if it can't find water, it's going to look for food to eat. and you better have enough food out there for it. It's going to go fast. So a lot of these foliar package that we did, especially at Tassel, has really helped this corn. The sugars that we put on, the PGR that we put on, both from Ag Explore, fungicide from BASF, the Kelpine, all that stuff really plays hand in hand to help keep this crop together, enough food and a Band-Aid to try to push it on through. So that definitely plays a big role into this because we didn't have anything to drink, so it's got to eat.